guys, it's Lady here, and I want you to get ready with me. So today I'm going to show you how to achieve this look, which is pretty much my everyday streaming get ready look, and if you want to figure out how I do it, keep watching. I've already done my skincare, so I'll do another video on that if you're interested in how I take care of my skin. What I always start with is, I'm not going to say I always start with it, but sometimes I use a primer and sometimes I don't. It depends on how much time that I have to get ready. So if I don't have enough time, I won't use a primer, but for today's sake, I'm going to use MAC's Prep and Prime. You can use a brush or you can use your hands. I like to use my hands. It's going to warm up the product and let it settle into the skin. As far as foundation goes, I kind of rotate what I want depending on the kind of skin texture that I want. I usually go for a more dewy natural finish. When I want something that's a little bit more full coverage, I go for Dermablend or Cover FX. But for today, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy Smooth Foundation. And I have pretty prominent, I don't even want to call them dark circles because they're not like from not sleeping. My skin under my eyes are really, really thin, so you can see the veins, so it's a little bit blue and greenish. So I do one of two things. Either use the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector, which is like kind of shimmery and peachy, which will cancel out some of the blueness, or I'll go in with my Dermablend, and this is like more of a, it's called it's honey color, and that is more peachy as well, and it'll cancel out the color. Usually I'll opt for the Becca, but for today we'll use both. And I like to use my finger because it'll warm up the product. And I just pat it under the eye. And I'll take the Becca under eye and just very lightly put that on top. I also like to do my concealer before I use put my foundation on. Normally I would use MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, but I ran out, so I've been trying the Maybelline Fit Concealer because it's supposed to be a dupe for the NARS concealer, but I don't love it. It's okay, it does the job alright, but I definitely prefer the other one. Same way, I start up in the corner, and then I'm going to put this on this, and right around my nose where I get really red. And I'll let that sit there for a little while I do my foundation, and give it a good shake. Put it on my hand. My favorite brush to use is the Real Techniques like buffing brush. I just used it last night, so still good. And I really like to work the foundation into the skin because I want it to look like my skin. Now, the thing about doing makeup for TV or filming or streaming is it can't be too glowy, it can't be too shiny because then you're just like a shine ball. So I have two powders that I use. I use the Maybelline Fit Me Translucent Poreless Powder, and then I have the NYX Translucent HD Powder. That I will just get rid of any of the shine on my nose, the T-zone area, and under my eyes. I use and I just pat it on there, and it'll remove excess shine in the area. I keep this with me at my desk when I feel like I'm getting shiny, so I can touch up throughout the stream because of the hot lights that I have. Now, I did put foundation on my eyes, but I can, you can use a paint pot, an Urban Decay primer potion, whatever you want to use. Over the lid. And I try to keep everything really, really, really simple when it comes to getting ready for a stream because I try to keep everything close by and really quick to be able to do it. This has gotten a lot of love, so it's nice and dirty. The Maybelline Nudes, I actually got this because I was running out of town and I forgot my makeup, and it was like the closest thing that I had that is in my actual palette, and I've actually come to prefer this more than my palette, which is crazy. So it's all neutral colors, nothing crazy. If I really want to make my eyes pop, I use some kind of like frosty white jumbo pencil. I need to sharpen this, but this is from Rimmel. Ooh, it's called Witness White, and I just put this in the inner corner of the eye. And then like right in the tear duct area. And I usually use my pinky to just kind of spread it around. Since we already had a base, it's not super necessary, but it'll help the shimmering color be a little bit more shimmery. I focus this color on like the first third of my eye in the tear duct area. So I'm using a fluffy brush with this like grayish neutral color and this lighter color, and I just pop that through the socket. Not very hard, like I don't want a lot of color there, I just want it to be really, really natural. And then I put it through the whole socket, and I usually bring it to the bridge of my nose. So that's about it. And then what I'll do is I'll take my eyeshadow, my angled brush, and then I pick one of the bronzy, like the light color and the gold, and I mix them together. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of the dark bronze in there as well. We'll use that today. And just go towards the outer corner of the eye. And only going about halfway in. Use our blending brush. Dip that into a little bit of the lighter shimmery color. And blend the edges away. And up into what we had before. What you can do is you can take the light shimmery color we used before and go right under the outer corner of the lash, your bottom lash. You don't really want this to be too dark or heavy because you want it to be natural and soft, like you're not really wearing a lot of makeup. Now that our eyes are pretty much done except for eyeliner, I'll go ahead and start doing my brows. Normally I used MAC Eyebrow Pencil. I haven't tried Anastasia Beverly Hills yet, but I got this Almay one that's a really fine one, and then I've got this other one, I can't remember where I got it, but it has a nice spoolie on it and it's like thicker. But what I do is I brush my brows down because I keep them more of a straight shape. And then I just kind of follow the natural shape of my brow. I don't like the Almay one as much as I like the one from MAC because I feel like this one's a little bit waxier, so it's kind of harder to use. But I like it since it's so thin. And I really only focus on the outer corner of my brow because that's where I don't have a lot of hair because I shave it. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going over it with eyeshadow anyways. I know a lot of you guys that watch me are always like, how are your eyes always so perfect? There are days that my eyebrows are not perfect, and I will tell you that they're not perfect, but I guess to everybody else it might be. To me, I'm like, they're terrible. And we're going to use the same kind of color combination that we used at the eye. We're going to use this darker charcoal-y gray and then this lighter taupey color. I like to use the lighter color at the beginning of the brow. And I like using an angle brush for this because since I like a straight brow, I can get a straight line with the angle brush with like the least amount of effort. Now I'm mixing the two. And sometimes I just, not sometimes, the majority of the time, I take my angle brush and I just push into the brow like this to kind of get underneath it without having a very like harsh line. And then towards the end of the tail, I usually go with the darker color, just the darker color by itself. Like that. And then whatever's left on there, I go to the front of the brow and just push it through. Like that. So the next thing I'm going to do, I always like to finish my eyes very last. So I'll go ahead and go in with some bronzers. This is just Refined Golden from MAC. I used to work for MAC, so I have a lot of stuff. And I'm going to use it until it's gone and then buy new stuff when I need to. I love this brush. It is a 109 brush. I love fluffy flat brushes because blending is my jam and it's really important. So I'm just going to use this, my bronzer. And then buff it into the skin. Now, for being on camera, I have to put a little bit more color than I would have to normally. So I could leave it like this for regular stuff, but for being on camera, I have to add a little bit more. So if it seems like I have a lot of makeup on, well, it might not seem like I have a lot of makeup on because you're looking at me now on a camera. But it looks like I have a lot of makeup on, that's why. So I use this, and then excess goes down the bridge of the nose. Favorite thing that I've come across is this e.l.f. contouring blush and bronzing powder. I don't know if it has the name. Fiji? As you can tell, I've used it quite a bit. I love this color for a contour color. So I just take that kind of over where I've already bronzed. And I'm just going to place this in the hollow of my cheek. And up in my temple. Everywhere! Gotta go everywhere. So I use a fluffy brush, and I'll also use a very small brush to kind of detail where I want my contour to be. I don't contour my nose a lot. I just contour just very little bit down the sides. And I don't use this color. I use the same color that I've been using for everything else, is this grayish color here. So I'll use the brush, and then I'll pat off any kind of excess. This down the nose. Blush, and we're going to go back to our e.l.f. palette. Blush brush. This is actually this blush is really, really, really dark. It's not dark, but it's pigmented. It's really pigmented. So, tap off any excess. I start from the back of the cheek, because if you have too much product, you can find out really quick, and it's a lot easier to fix it back there than it is on the apples of the cheeks. So I got still an eyeliner, and I loved it. It's a 24-hour eyeliner. I loved it. I lost it. So I was like, well, there goes that. So I found the e.l.f. Intense Ink eyeliner, which is pretty much the same thing as the other one, and I really like the way that it's been working. It does transfer, unlike the other, like the Stila one, but it gets the job done. I go for a more downward eyeliner than like up and out. I like that. Also, eyes are really hard to get the same. As long as you're in the same ballpark. Don't worry about it. So what I do after I get my eyeliner close to where I want it to be, I go back with our trusty angle brush. And my favorite dark taupey color. I wish I could get a giant thing of it. I don't know where. I'll figure it out somewhere. And I go right underneath the eye, kind of where we have that bronzy color. And just make a little triangle. So on the top of my eyes, I use the Scandal Eyes, the Rimmel Scandal Eyes, because it'll give me a lot of volume. And at the bottom, I use the NYC waterproof eyeliner. I don't always wear eyelashes when I stream. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Depends on how I'm feeling or how I want to feel. My favorite eyelashes for streaming and everyday wear are the Ardell Demi Wispies, or any kind of wispies in general. I really like these ones because they're like regular, and then on the outer corner there's a little extra. So it always looks really nice and flirty and cute. The biggest thing, the gloss. How do you put on eyelashes? How do you put on eyelashes? Stick them on your face, man. I'm just kidding. The biggest problem that I come across being a professional makeup artist and people asking me in general is how to put on eyelashes correctly. There's no like wrong way to put it on, but the best way that you're going to be able to put it on is to let your glue get tacky. I always use duo adhesive. I've tried the cheap stuff. It just doesn't work for me. Very little amount. Let it get tacky. I usually do my other lash and let them sit for a little bit. You want it to where your glue isn't all the way clear, because then it's dry and you can't put it on, but is tacky. So my lips, I do variations of different things all the time. Mostly I just like them to be soft and pink and not very noticeable. So what I usually do is I go in with a lipstick. This is actually more of a pinky corally orange. And I'll use a lipstick on the inside. And then I'll take some kind of glossy lip stain. And go over it. Kind of like an ombre effect. And then you can take a gloss. Sometimes I use a gloss, sometimes I don't. But this is just like a light pink, creamy gloss. And just... I focus on the top of the lip. And the bottom. So this is still a little wet, but it'll be okay. My biggest thing that I always make sure is really dry is the inner corner. Or most tacky. JK, too wet. That's how you know it's too wet. If it doesn't like stick immediately, it's too wet. So this is my finished look, and I hope it was helpful for you or interesting. And if you want to see more makeup from me, like and subscribe or put some recommendations in the comments, and I'll definitely look into doing them in the future. So